we're on the way to the Volga Blue quarry. Hello everyone, it's Maxim from Pagoda Build, and in this short movie we will introduce one of our main materials, Ukrainian labradorite Volga Blue. You will know all specifics of this stone, the sphere of its usage, and all supply chain starting from mining and finishing with manufacturing of finished products. Volga Blue is a unique material which combines the strictness of black granite with the magic of blueization of semi-precious Labrador mineral. The scope of its usage is quite wide. You can create exclusive interiors, you can do small format items such as countertops, balusters, etc. And the big grain of the stone also makes it very suitable for covering big areas of facades. But when you use this material outdoor, the processing quality is very crucial, and I will talk about this later. Talking about the quarry, it is important to understand that Volga Blue is not one single quarry, which what many people think, but there are more than 10 of active quarries now in Ukraine, and each of them are different, with different color, with different specifics and problems. Here we have samples of material from 3 quarries which we work with. All of them belong to, I would say, premium segment, which is black background and intensive blue iridization. But most of Volga Blue, which is coming from Ukraine, is coming from several big quarries with a big output, which we call Volga Classic. And those materials are also nice, but with a greenish background, and the iridization is not dark blue, but more like yellow greenish blue. And besides, some of the quarries of this material also have a problem with metal inclusions, which become rust. You have to pay attention to which material you choose. In the current presentation, we are talking about our main material, which is classical Volga Blue. Its specifics is black background with big round-shaped blue spots, relatively uniform color to compare with other quarries, especially of the premium segment. Small percentage of metal inside, which doesn't lead to the occurrence of rust spot when you use this stone outside. Now we're on the way to the Volga Blue quarry. With me is Denis, who is our representative in Ukraine.
Our task is basically quality control of the blocks that were prepared for us. Looking for some discoloration, looking for most intense blue eyes on the blocks. Perfect block is, I don't know, I like big blocks for, like for huge slabs, maybe 3 meters by 1.5 or 2 meters, maybe bigger. I've seen a couple of such blocks in my career.
Now we're at the Volga Blue quarry, which is our main supplier of Volga Blue granite. It's quite young, only 2.5 years old, and we work with it since the first block they have mined, and buy big volume of material on regular basis. And it is definitely the best quarry, both in terms of the quality of stone and in terms of professionalism of the team who is working there. So now we're in our Volga Blue stockyard in China. I'm with my colleagues, Mr. Xiong, Mr. Yang. They're in charge of blocks processing, quality control and sales in the local market. And our task today is to select several blocks to cut slabs for our showroom. Say Pacific Stone Mall is the biggest blocks and slabs market in the world. So while selecting blocks in the quarry, what we do is check blocks for defects. Blocks with some strange color inclusions like green lines or big green spots, or with the big cracks are rejected from the quarry, and then the quarry use it for processing of small items in the factories nearby. And also what we do in the quarry, we determine the direction of cutting, because this material also has a direction. You can cut it with only one surface, sometimes it's two surfaces, or can be even three, but sometimes only one surface, and then you cannot cut other sides, otherwise the color will be not nice and the grain will be not very round and big. So here we have samples we just randomly take from some of the orders, 60 by 60 tiles, where you can see the color. As you can see, the material is quite uniform, and more or less like on the samples with the material we supply is like this. But still you can see that on some tiles there are more blue, some a little bit less, some have a bit bigger grains, some have a little bit smaller grains, and this is normal for this material, it cannot be avoided. What also cannot be avoided is black lines. So all the blocks have a thinner or thicker, have black lines like this. From the distance of 1 meter you almost cannot see them, but if you look closely you can see this black line. It's not a crack, it's just natural vein which is a part of the texture. I would not even call it defect, it's just the part of the color. What you will not see on our tiles is tiles with some obvious defects like open cracks, or some green lines or some other color defects. Those are being rejected. Maybe one more thing which still should be accepted is sometimes it has like greenish spots, like on this tile. If it's not too bright and not too much, it also should be accepted. But when there are some tiles which we reject when this green becomes very obvious, and it doesn't look nice. So those tiles we also reject. So more or less the texture standard which you will get from us is like this. You can see the quality on these several samples. Show it our showroom, and just now we have my colleagues delivered a new set of samples. We made them thinner, and all sides are polished, and the back side is aqua storm. We are checking the quality, looks quite good. Third important parameter which need to be conscious about is the quality of processing. This stone can lose a lot of its decorative value if processed not properly, and this is one of the reasons why we bring blocks to process in China, because in Ukraine there are not many factories which can do a good job on this. For the cutting we use cullet type of very thin discs, so we have quite high precision for cutting. It's 90% of tiles will be plus minus 1 millimeter for the thickness tolerance. For the making cut to size is also bridge type automatic cutting machines, which gives us plus minus 0.5 millimeter tolerance. What is most crucial is the polishing. So before polishing we do raising. Material, it has some micro cracks, and in order to get rid of them you need to do a good raising. We use specially developed for our purposes AB epoxy glue. It costs us like two times higher than any other epoxy glue on the market, but it gets in every even smallest micro crack, fills it with the glue, and after polishing you cannot see them. This gives us effect of shining and high polishing degree. It's important to have it when you use material outside, because if the resining is not properly done and you have this micro cracks open, when you use material outdoor, some dust can come inside which doesn't look good, or if you use material in a cold climate, in winter water comes inside and become ice and can expand and the macro crack can become cracked. But proper resin helps to avoid this problem. And polishing is also very important. Like, it took us some time to develop proper polishing tools and the speed and the pressure to make high polishing degrees, but to avoid also overburning of the material. In the end, you can see on our tiles that we have very good almost mirror polishing, and this shows the all beauty of this stone. One more parameter which is important, you need to pay attention, is the edge cutting. Because material has a big grain and it's quite fragile, sometimes when you cut you can have a lot of edge chipping on the tile. So we also have developed special discs to cut the edge to minimize this problem. You can see that on this tile still we have a little bit of chipping. It's accepted for most of the clients, but for very demanding client we have another type of marble disc. Almost 100% avoid this problem, you don't have any chipping at all. But it is more expensive, so we offer it as a extra option. So more or less our quality processing standards is like this.
And now we will drink tea with the boss of the factory and we'll ask him several questions. What do you want me to say? Well, actually, whatever you think, just something better, something good, of course, about our stone. Okay, I'll try to be honest. You ask and I will reply. Okay, so you work with the many stones here on your factory. What do you think about Volga Blue comparing to other granites which you work with? Is it better or worse? In general, I like Volga Blue. It's quite unique stone. It's perfectly suits for some areas, for example for floor or wall. I really like to work with it. And if you would build your own house, would you like to use Volga Blue? How do you think? Yeah, I would use it for sure. At some areas it's really beautiful. Yes, I really also like Volga Blue. Even in our office there are many places where we use it. The more I look at Volga, more I like it. How do you think? Yes, I agree.
This is a local delicacy. There is a story about this animal, I don't know, a fish, how you call it. Romantic story, a little bit sad. They always live like a couple, and when they catch female, the male will go by himself on the share to look for his female, and then they catch the male as well. So now we are at the dinner with our processing factory director, Mr. Wu. He treated us for Chinese traditional dinner. A lot of nice food, mostly seafood, because this is coastal province. And of course, baijiu, Chinese vodka. It's 52 degrees, smells with herbs, and it's very good. In Chinese, cheers is ganbei. So, ganbei. Thank you for your attention. I hope that this Volga Blue presentation was useful to you. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel in order not to miss our materials reviews, and see you next time.